Here's a piece of me to chew on.
Hey, I'm Peter Dolving. Welcome to Peace of Mind. Over the last couple of episodes, we've been talking about psychology and sex and power. And I used Augustinus to tell a more conceptual story about how words can be used for power in creating insane ideas and how people will use ideas and concepts for their own benefits. Poor Augustinus, he probably just wanted to be a nice guy, right? Well, life is something of a riddle. We're not handed some great book of knowledge when we plop out of our mommies. Basically, everything on this planet Earth, is harsh. Gravity, temperature, air pressure, other people, animals, bacteria, virus, we have all these things out to get us, basically. To make things even worse, when we finally do plop out, we're not even really ready baked. It takes most up to 25 to 30 years even before we have a functional emotional construct inside of us that works enough to really be, well, humane. So, where are we? Well, in the middle of life, most people, and this is kind of weird, don't really have a clue either who they are or what they want. The one question people in general find the absolutely hardest of all to answer is the fundamental question, what do you want? What do you want? More than that, what do you need? This is hard questions. It takes work. What we know today is that individuation, the process of becoming an individual person, in many ways is a question of discipline. Meditation, study, psychoanalysis. It takes work, it takes time. There's an actual process that has to be passed through. In other words, it's a question of rites of passage. Happiness, it seems, is really a choice. But it is also true that shit happens. And when it does, it is completely normal to just lose your own shit, because things do fall apart. It's natural. It's also natural to take in the fact that people are really, really resilient. Think about it. Over our entire human history, we have had so much horror. We have had anything from volcanoes exploding, earthquakes. We've had natural disasters by any kind of way that you can probably, find an expression for it. It will be there. Anything from wars, torture, people will chase other people for their opinions and what they believe in. It's absolutely insane. Well, when we look at the facts, we see that the normal is that people make it through. So there's kind of a narrative going on about that people who have terrible experiences become terrible people. And this is completely untrue, because what modern psychology and psychiatry has kind of seen very clearly today is what we call resilience and grit. And this is the fact that most people, regular people, some are smarter and some are less smart. Some are blonder, some are less blonde. Some are tall, some are skinny, some are thick, some are whatever. Human beings make it through the most unimaginable insanity that we can ever imagine. And we do it over and over and over again. How can we do this? In the 17th century, there was a Japanese warrior poet called Miyamoto Musashi. Musashi explained that the paths of life are different only on the surface. That a warrior, a carpenter, a farmer, they all face sort of the same challenges. We face life. The farmer certainly faces the farmer's challenges, and the warrior will of course face the challenges of war. The path of Musashi is described in his book of 5 Rings. It's one of determination. It's a story of discipline. And by some people, this is seen as kind of harsh because, killing is not a really glorious job. Musashi was a ronin and a swordsman, and he survived hundreds of battles, and this is something unheard of. Basically, his greatest contribution, really, is in how he conceptually breaks down the elements of his craft and his discipline and points to how the discipline in itself is conducive to peace of mind. Basically, doing something, anything, entirely, Steady practice, setting the ego aside for discipline, will, and purpose, fully investing oneself, attention to action, in a ceaseless attempt to fully understanding and mastering each step, each inflection, each facet of what it was to be a swordsman. Now, this is really the very description and the very idea of Zen. So, on one hand, in today's corporate environment, that's the perfect setup for burning out completely or dying trying. But I suppose that's probably a little bit of what it takes to be happy. Purpose. The willingness to take the risk of failure because you truly believe in something. From Navy SEALs to Buddhist monks and watchmakers, librarians, and teachers, the message seems pretty clear. Discipline is apparently one of the most efficient ways to reaching peace of mind. Okay, so not everyone wants to climb Mount Everest on a diet of crackers baked from the dust of skeletons and tears, and that's totally cool. Not everyone thinks drinking virgin's blood from a skull of demons is the best way about learning who you really are. And truly, there are easier ways. In fact, you can start anytime. All you have to do is close your eyes, make a decision, and take a deep breath. Because that is where you begin. Until next week, like, share, and comment, and spread this to your friends, all right? Take care, and remember, you're important. Alakbaba Sirishan Dirak. Peace.